Alright, well today is the day I promised you guys we'd get back to work on Astroquake. I got a list of parts here ready for us. We got our Lambo hinges, our suicide hinges, we've got our 90, our 180 going in the back. So I've got a bunch of parts here that you've seen on our last video that we pulled out of the wrecked van. So I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the parts, and then today's video we're going to show you how to go through and drill out spot welds. Now to do what we're doing here, we've got to totally reverse engineer this. This hasn't been done before. This is something that I haven't done before. I haven't seen another Astro van with dual doors, so it's going to take a little bit of balancing and putting this together. What I found out is I think I'm going to take a jam from like a Dodge Caravan or express van that has dual doors, not an express van, but something like a Sienna van or a Montana van. Probably the Montana will be the closest one, or we've even been looking at the Suburban with you know, the rear door jams that we may cut and fabricate. So I'm going to walk you over here through the parts, and I'm going to kind of show you our process and what we're going to start with, and then we'll get to the lesson today of drilling out spot welds. So, all right, we're going to get started on drilling out spot welds. I want to show you a couple things you're going to need. This right here is just a paint stripper wheel on a drill. We just have a regular drill with a small drill bit, and we have our rotary spot cutter drill bit, some safety glasses, just a little hammer. This is just a little ball peen hammer. You want a center punch with a sharp point on it, okay? And then a grinder wheel to just grind off metal. Now I want to show you a concept about how sheet metal is actually made from the factory, at least how these types of jams are made. I'm going to bring you over here to a piece of paper. So if you can imagine, this is a sheet of metal. This is how they come from the factory. They're usually 8 foot by 6 foot, and they have a receiving die. So this is the receiving die that would go underneath the sheet of metal, okay? And then you have the actual pressing part that would come down. And this is on a huge press that comes down and it presses the form out of the metal, okay? So then when you're done, you have a form. Now this is just a piece of paper. I'm just kind of using this for an example. But the way it works is this press comes down and it pushes into the hole like that. And so then you have a sheet of metal with a form in it. Now that's basically the concept of how that works. So I'll bring you back over here to the van door jam, and you can kind of see this is just pressed by that big press. There's a receiving die, and then this is pressed down. So what you want to look for is you want to look for a sheet of metal. Before you start drilling out these spot welds, you want to look and see if this is all one piece of metal, okay? It's hard to see from this camera, but that's what we're basically looking for. And we're going to come over here and we're going to start drilling out these spot welds. And I'm going to show you how to do it, and the best way that I found to do it. You can buy really expensive spot weld cutters. This is just an inexpensive one I picked up from Harbor Freight. I think it was $5. We'll probably go through about 20 of these while we do this whole grafting system. So I'm going to set you over here on a tripod and show you a couple things. Okay, so here's our spot welds. We just ground them down. We can see the spot welds. So what we're going to do is take our center punch, put it right in the middle, just a tap. So that just gives us a place to put our drill bit into. Okay, now we're going to take our drill, and all we want to do is just put a little divot in there. Sorry about the arm cam. We just want a little divot somewhere for the spot welder to ride in. Okay. All right, now we've got our spot weld cutter set up. Okay, that's all there is to it. This is that little pilot hole. That's why we wanted to drill this out, so this has something to ride in. Okay, so we just set it in that hole and just go nice and slow. Try to keep my arm out of the way. That's because I put too much pressure on it. You want to go slow. Let the blade do the work. You don't want to be cutting, putting too much pressure down. Let the blade do the work. Alright, I drilled all those out. This one I drilled a little too much and I popped through. That's okay, I just need the outer skin. So you can kind of see what it looks like. You can see that one actually went all the way through. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. So I'm going to show you a couple tools that you can use. And if you don't have a air hammer like what we're going to use here, you can just use a hammer, chisel, old school. Just put that in there, tap it into place, and it'll split the shell. Okay? You got to make sure that you drill it out enough. We're going to just use the air hammer. This is a little faster. Alright, I've spent about a half an hour on it. I was able to cut out all the spot welds to where it's actually free from its back. Let me show you, grab my little pry bar here. And you can see it's completely separate. Now I still have a lot of work to do. I have to come over here and drill out all these spot welds from the other side, and then all the way up here, all the way over there, so that the whole structure will come out. So, I think that's pretty much it for today's lesson. I have a lot of work left to do on this. About 200 rivets, spot welds I have to drill out. So I'll be on it for a while. Probably take me about 4 hours to separate that skin from the inner structure. But at least now you guys know how to do it. And we'll start grafting this together, cutting, stitching it, doing what we need to do to make it work in this door jamb. So I'll see you on the next video. We're going to be starting a new website for the Astroquake. It's going to be on IconicKustoms.com, so check that out. And please rate, subscribe to these videos. It helps me out. Rate them up. Put likes and dislikes if you don't like them. Put your comments. Anything you want to put in there. Anything you want to see that we haven't done already, let me know, and we'll put those in the next video. So talk to you guys soon. Bye.